The head coach of the Green Bay Packers is here, Matt LaFleur.
Hey,
on the Rich Eisen Show.
nice.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
What number draft is this for you overall, period? Since you've been coaching in the NFL.
In the NFL?
Yes, sir.
Oh, geez, I don't even know. Like 16 or 17? 16, 15, 16, I don't know. It's my 7th year with the Packers.
Okay. So
that's about, what I can tell you.
That's pretty much it. So it's got to be the first draft in the town in which you're coaching, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct?
Yeah.
This is a first for you in this regard.
Yeah.
People around here are just fired up that the draft is.
It gives them a reason to drink really early in the day.
I didn't know people were looking for a reason.
Oh, yeah. We're always looking for a reason around here.
Because, again, I always thought when the draft would be here, it would be inside Lambeau. And
I thought that would be a pretty good idea.
You thought that too, right?
Apparently, people thought differently than us.
But I guess it is fitting that there is a party in the parking lot, because that's what happens around here, too.
You can't get any more Green Bay than that.
Have you ever walked through the parking lot on a game day?
I have not.
You've not done that yet?
I have not. When I first got hired here, my office was on the 3rd floor of our building, so you could overlook the...
On a game day?
On a game day, and it was... Sometimes you're like, man, I wish I could go out there and experience it, but...
Right.
Yeah, I've never been outside in the parking lot.
You have not, but you have observed before you actually go and coach a game. Yeah, I mean, the red carpet has been rolled out for everybody here, and the number of people that are just so excited that we're here in this town for this draft, it's pretty cool. And so, and the neat thing is you're just, well, you use your regular offices anyway. It doesn't matter where the draft is.
Yeah.
I know.
But I will say the people of Green Bay are very welcoming. No matter what jersey you have on, because there's some cities, Philadelphia maybe, where if you came in there with a Packer jersey, you might not feel comfortable. So that is what's unique, I would say, about our fan base, and just this area is just. They're going to welcome you in no matter who you're rooting for.
Matt LaFleur is here, the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. The radio audience has returned. I'm sitting at the Rich Eisen Show desk, furnished by Grainger with supplies and solutions for every industry. Grainger has the right product for you. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by, as Matt LaFleur has. You're a man of your word. You said when the draft is here, I'll come on your show. You did say you were going to bring some red wine, but, I guess we have it is early still in the day.
I'll bring some over later.
Okay, very good. Well, we're right there,
Yeah, I know.
Saturday would be perfect for that.
We can do that.
Okay, very good.
Maybe I'll show up,
right there on the set.
Right, yeah.
We're right there.
As the draft is winding down, we can pop open a bottle.
Although, speaking of liquid here, this is very fascinating to me, Coach, because it's my 22nd draft here on the NFL Network, and 11th here on the Rich Eisen Show. First time I've ever seen a coach willingly tip his pick publicly, as you have, Matt. And I've got a photograph of it. I step off the plane, and I find out your first round pick is hydration.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I had no idea that you would just let everyone know who you're picking tonight. Is hydration.
Embarrassing.
Now, are you throwing us off the trail that you're really going to be picking cramping tonight, and you're just trying to get us off the trail by saying it's going to be about?
I'm just glad this year. I'm a year ago I was coming back from getting my pec repaired. So yeah.
So you're
day of the draft. I flew back from New York. Dr. Cardasco.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
You had pec surgery prior to last year's draft?
I did. We tried to keep it on the wraps, and for the most part, I got in a fight with the bench press and obviously lost that battle. And so today I come here and I'm in full health. So that's a win.
Okay. And obviously hydration helped you get back on the... Okay.
Yep.
All right, everyone's out there, man. Everyone's talking about the Packers are already choosing hydration. So, so what is your role tonight? Would you say is your role tonight in the draft room?
Like a lot of us, we just sit there and wait, and when the opportunity arises to make that selection, obviously there's going to be a lot of good conversation between Goody, his staff, and myself, and just looking forward to getting some good players.
So you have, I imagine, already gamed it out, right?
Yeah, all the work's been done to this point. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Right. You'd be grinding it. So 23rd overall, there's like a general sense of who might be on the board. Are you already on the record in a conversation of saying, if these guys are on the board, I want this guy? Have you voice something like that?
There's definitely been some of those conversations,
Okay.
but I still think there's a lot of unknowns. In particular, in this draft, who's going to be there? I think there's going to be more conversations as we approach the pick.
Okay, so obviously the quarterback spot has been taken care of in your world.
You just never know, though.
I know that's the old I know that's the old Ron Wolf and Ted Thompson way of going about things, and Gutekunst is from that DNA where you keep on. It seemed like almost every year when Favre was there, they would choose a quarterback, and then one year they actually went ahead and chose a quarterback that they used to succeed in Aaron Rodgers. But my question for you is, how do you evaluate a quarterback? How do you look at a quarterback and figure out the traits that you know can translate to the next level?
Yeah, so for me, there's a couple non-negotiables. And number one, they better be fearless in the pocket. They better be able to stand in there knowing that they're going to get blasted and make the throw. The second one I would say is just being a natural thrower, because the pockets in the NFL are dirty and they're muddy, and you got to be able to, in essence, throw from in a phone booth.
Yes.
So I think those are my two non-negotiables, and then you get to the intangible portion. You know, the character, the mental makeup, the love of the game, what kind of leader they are. I think all those. There's so many factors that determine whether or not a guy's going to be able to succeed in our league.
And you saw that in Jordan Love as you were evaluating?
I did, absolutely. I thought he was the most pure thrower coming out of that draft, and I know there were a lot of guys taken ahead of him, but loved that about him, loved the person, loved the worker, and I think we're seeing it all, kind of come to fruition at this point.
And you saw some cut-ups of them playing in Utah State, taking some in the chops, and you're like,
absolutely.
Okay, we checked that box
absolutely.
too. You saw that.
100%.
And then
and he added an element of the ability to move. I think especially now, the way the game has evolved, I do think that's an important component. Doesn't mean, there's been a lot of great quarterbacks that were more or less didn't move as well outside of the pocket. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning.
They leap to mind.
Yeah, they're at the forefront of the mind. So doesn't mean that you can't do it. But I think just with today's game, it definitely adds and puts a lot of pressure on a defense.
Well, and again, I'll just go here, and you say what you wish. Your two attributes of taking the hit and also accuracy, that does describe Shedeur Sanders coming into this draft. I don't know. Did you look at any of his film at all?
I didn't. I didn't do a deep dive on Shedeur, but
okay.
Yeah, he definitely.
That does sound like him.
He can make a lot of off-platform throws as well. A lot of the games that I saw, there was a lot of off-schedule going on. So, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I know. Who knows what does happen tonight? And I've got the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur, here on the Rich Eisen Show. Your first year on the sideline, did you ever have any moments of like Lombardi was on this sideline, like in this stadium? Did you have any moments like that when you first?
Absolutely. I still do, to be honest with you. Yeah. I would say, when the national anthem's playing, you look up, and especially when we're at home, you look around Lambeau and you're like, wow, this is pretty cool. So, but I'll never forget. So my first game as the Packer head coach, we opened the season, the 100th year of the NFL at Chicago, and the guy singing the national anthem he must be an opera singer or something, and the entire stadium's going crazy. That'll be forever embedded in my mind.
That was the first year of ownership of that franchise, as Aaron Rodgers would say that,
Something like that.
Did Ben Johnson send a little broadside verbally up the toll road?
Yeah, that was
in your direction.
Huh? That was interesting. Wasn't expecting that, being the fact that I don't really know him. But.
Well, now you do.
I do.
Now you do. But I guess that is part and parcel of Bears coaches taking the job and throwing out the revenue.
Yeah, I
fans,
honestly, I think it's more for the fans.
It is.
And
tonight,
the banter and
tonight when the Bears are on the clock, it's going to be on.
Oh yeah,
for sure here in this town when the Bears are on the clock.
Hopefully, we'll hear a lot of boos.
I know. Are you in touch with Rodgers at all?
I have not been. No.
Okay. So do you have any thoughts on what's going on with him that you're willing to share?
I have no idea what.
Do you think he's going to play again?
If I were a betting man, I would not bet against it.
Right.
So I would say that he's more than likely going to be somewhere.
Right. It could be Pittsburgh, and obviously you guys play Pittsburgh.
That would
this
be
year.
interesting.
Wouldn't it be? You're standing on one sideline and he's on the other.
Yeah.
But the two of you guys got along famously well, right?
Yeah, we did. We had a great relationship, and I think there was a lot of respect for one another, and
right.
certainly, I don't think I'd be sitting here today without the way he, led our team and his performance on the field. So we had a lot of great moments together.
So when you are thinking about last season at any point in time, what leaps to mind for you for a team that, in a mind's eye of a lot of people in chairs like mine, you arrived earlier than people would expect the year before,
Sure.
and then there were some expectations last year that I think you'd agree went unmet, and I'm wondering what your 2 cents on that would be when you think of last year.
I just think that, certainly the season never ends the way you want it to unless you're holding that Lombardi trophy. So,
right.
But it was a little bit disappointing to have an opportunity to go into Minnesota and not get the job done, and then we lost the last game versus the Bears, and then into the playoffs versus Philly. So I think, there was some disappointment there. I think there was a lot of great lessons that we need to learn from moving forward.
What are they? What would you say?
Well, I think that our game is so competitive, and there's a lot of things that are not within your control. So you got to maximize each and every moment, and that's all that goes into the preparation of being able to make the plays in those big time games. And so I would just say just being super intentional about how we go about our business and the preparation that we put into it.
Sort of the team growing up together? Is that what you're alluding to?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that. And I know for 2 years in a row we've been the youngest team in the National Football
Right.
League, but at the end of the day, nobody cares. So you have to grow up fast, and you have to learn from every experience, both good and bad.
Well, Josh Jacobs appears to be a hand-in-glove fit here in
Yeah,
Green Bay.
he's been awesome.
What'd you learn about him?
He is as advertised. Obviously, coming from the Raiders, we had Rich Bisaccia that had been around him.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Ansley, who's our defensive back coach, was with him at Alabama, and I would say he's as advertised. Those guys said you're going to get the ultimate competitor, and he's been exactly that. He's been a great leader, a great force within our locker room. And matter of fact, I just saw him today working out at the facility, and it was great to see him.
Yeah, I mean, and boy, did you really, used him as a hammer, like a first quarter hammer, quite a bit.
I'd say a 4-quarter.
Well, I mean, I that's for sure. But just in the first quarter, on occasion,
Sure.
you were tone setting quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Using him last year.
He is a tone setter, so he is going to run behind his pads, and you're going to feel him. And I think he's just got that ability to wear down defenses.
Right. So your message to Packers fans going into the draft tonight is what? Just another way of me trying to sneak in a little peek behind the curtain about the 23rd overall pick tonight, just to walk straight through the front door.
We're going to get the best player
come on,
available. How about that? It's not sexy, I know.
No, I know. It's
hydration.
It's not hydration. I agree. It's not hydration.
And I will be well hydrated.
Well, I don't want you crapping up at with the big moment, man.
Yeah.
For sure. But I don't know. I mean,
I love how you guys got that, by the way.
Which is what? That's my photograph.
Is it?
I'm not
so as
kidding
you
you.
flew into the airport.
As I deplaned.
Trust me, I've gotten a lot of text messages over the last couple of days. Like, are you serious?
Yes, you're serious. Well, I mean, your face doesn't say you're serious, but again, I would love it if tonight Roger Goodell steps to the podium with the 23rd overall pick in the draft. The Green Bay Packers select hydration. That would be fantastic.
Put a plug in to him.
I will. You know what? I can do I can actually go in the back and fill in the card. I know. Sure. I can. Well, actually, it's a player's name. You just fill in the team on the card. So you just tell me who you want, I'll do that.
All right, let's do
As a
it.
thank you for you coming here.
Let's do it.
You tell me the name of the player. You got to tell me that I can't just write best player available down. You know what I mean? You're going to have to give me a name.
Who do you think we're going to pick?
Who do I think you're going to pick? Well, I think you're going to take Ibuka
Really?
out of Ohio State. Not a single. You just nodded your head. You know, I could just start naming names and see if I hit on one that you really want.
Well, I famously heard they've never taken a first-round wide receiver. So.
Well, that's not true. That's not true.
It hasn't been one in a long time.
I think it's been like, what, 2002?
Okay.
Yeah, was it Javon Walker?
It was Javon Walker.
Sorry,
right?
nobody for
Look at
Aaron
me, huh?
Rodgers,
Look
I
at you.
famously heard.
Some might call you an expert.
You know what? I've been around. So yeah, I mean they have done it,
But not for Aaron Rodgers, I guess is what I heard.
But you got enough wide receivers, right?
I tell you what, historically, we've done a pretty good job drafting a lot of great receivers.
Yes,
Very
indeed.
true.
Yeah.
Second-round receivers, third-round receivers.
Hey, man, Donald.
Devontae Adams, he's all right. Jordy Nelson,
They were
Greg
both pretty good.
Jennings,
They've been pretty good.
James Jones, Randall Cobb. I mean, just to name a few.
Just to name a few, the Donald Driver's memoir is in my hotel room. Is reading.
We drove by a Donald Driver statue.
I mean, I think we got a couple. Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs,
Look at you.
Jontavian Wicks.
Look at you.
So
Yeah, you got it.
I think
so.
we've done
No
solid
wide
wide
receiver. You just heard no wide receiver
see.
tonight.
Wide receiver
see.
tonight. Okay, great.
So we're just making our predictions? Derek Harmon.
Is there a player named Hydration in the draft? Will you please look that up? So I took
Maybe a
that
nickname.
picture. I took because I knew you were coming on. I'm
Yeah.
like, I got it. This is going to be fun.
that was great.
Is it?
Not really.
Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You bet, man. That's the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur, here on the Rich Eisen Show.
Yeah. Oh, it's loud over there.
Oh, see all the Packers
fans in the house. I love that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's you've got the loudest ovation. That
As you
beats-
as you
honestly,
should.
it was like a golf outing with Ian Rappaport when you say goodbye to him. He was on the phone his whole time.
Coach, can you make us just go outside during the game and jump into the tailgate window?
There you go.
All right.
Thank you very much for being here. That's Matt LaFleur, everybody.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.